Why is it way over there?
Because that's where the cursor was. God damn it.
Well, we're way over here now. This is our second attempt at recording this episode, but we are here. We are back. Jackson and Colton, the Odd Junk Podcast. You know who we are.
Yeah, I would hope so. If you don't know who we are, go back and watch the other.
Watch all the other episodes, then come here.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to do that.
You have to have all that background information to understand this episode.
And if you're new, we welcome you. But we just want to say this is going to be a drunker episode in a while. We did a lot of pre-gaming.
Yeah, we went to the bar.
Went to the bar, and we're here and we're ready to record. We're ready to talk about this stuff. We're really excited. Go ahead, do that intro. Do it.
That intro thing. Which one are you talking about? Which
the one that's like the jazzy.
All right, we'll play that. I think I got it. Ready?
It's the Odd Drunk Podcast, a very strange podcast, the drunkest show in the world. It's Jackson and Colton talking out of their ass. We don't care as long as drinks are poured. Sometimes we have our friends here. We will talk about anything. We don't care as long as we have beer. And if you let that whiskey ring. The Odd Drunk Podcast.
Wow.
And there it was. Yeah, that was a cool intro.
There it is. Yeah. Never get tired of that.
Oh, God.
We just need the soundboard. But
Yeah.
But before we get into this episode, I want you to put in some spooky background ambient music. Ooh.
Spooky stuff.
And you put it in.
I'm sure I can manage that. I think it's there already.
It's there already. I'm so creeped out already. Let us know if you're creeped out. DM us.
DM us. Or join our Facebook group.
And our Instagram.
And follow our Instagram. Odd Drunk Podcast.
We're doing that right now. Yeah, because that's what we do. Because we do it at the beginning, and I knocked your phone off, and it was there.
It was actually your phone. That you
It was
knocked
my
off.
phone. I knocked my phone off the table. But yeah, we are here. We are talking about SCP. We talked about it a little bit in Straight to VHS. That's kind of what I based my campaign around.
Yeah, but we've not done a proper episode on it yet, though. So
We haven't.
This is gonna be fun.
So for those who don't know, SCP means Secure, Contain, and Protect. And we're going to be looking at the SCP Foundation Wiki.
Yeah, SCP is it's a kind of internet community created
It kind of started from the creepypasta era of the
yes.
internet.
Spooky universe.
Yeah, it's a spooky universe. It's very spoopy. It's very Lovecraftian, actually, a lot of the stuff. But what's really cool about it, it's basically a creative writing space for people all over the world to submit their entries. And if it's good enough, it'll be on there.
Yeah, and people submit entries about different SCPs, different anomalies.
Yeah.
That the SCP Foundation
Some of them are
tries to contain.
Some of them are creatures. Some of them are like a cake. Some of them are world-ending entities. Some of them are just abstract anomalies that you can't even really
Some
grasp.
of them are just like a microwave that doesn't work properly.
Yeah. So the SCP, we're definitely expect more episodes on this because there's so many. They just had the competition for the 6,000th SCP.
Yeah, it's over in a couple days here.
And it just keeps going.
By the time this episode will have aired, it will have been over.
Oh, really?
I think so.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it just keeps going. And once we get into it, you'll kind of get the feel, the vibe for what it is.
Yeah, different sort of anomalies, things that
So what the website...
The SCP Foundation...
The website poses
to,
as like a government agency.
Yeah.
And where it has all these scientific... containment procedures and like descriptions. It's pretty cool stuff. And what we're going to do, we're going to read the containment procedures first, and we're going to try to guess what it is, and you can play along with us.
Yeah. So, and that's
just from the containment procedures.
And that is how often these articles are written, is the containment procedures, the object class, and then they describe the object.
And they all have item numbers.
Yeah.
And There is one that I thought about covering, SCP-1000.
Ooh.
It's basically Bigfoot. It's Bigfoot.
Oh, nice.
It's like we've already covered that. Maybe later I'll do the SCP version, but right now, yeah, SCP-1000
And
is Bigfoot.
there's other cool stuff on the SCP website as well. Stories that
There's
people
the
have written.
stories, there's the canons, there's the different essays and lores. There's all kinds of cool stuff. There's different canons.
Yeah.
So what we've done, each of us have picked 5 SCPs to talk about for this week's episode,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go through those. So I say I do one, then you do one, then we just keep going,
That
just
sounds good. Yeah.
back and forth.
Let's do that.
So before we get into that,
hold the
yes,
fuck up, yeah.
yeah, I'm holding up. I am holding up, actually.
What the fuck are you drinking, Jackson?
Yeah, I forgot we mentioned this in the previous take where we failed and I had to use restroom, but So I'm drinking some just, your standard Corona, Corona Extra. Good stuff.
Yeah. Good Corona.
Classic.
Corona, hold the virus. Just the Corona.
Just the Corona. I just want the Corona.
Bad joke. Poor taste. I'm
Poor
sorry.
taste, but it and I will say we've both been vaccinated now.
Yeah.
Fully. We've
Yeah.
got both doses.
It is
Go get your vaccines. They're out there.
CDC says it's safe for us to record a podcast now.
Yeah.
Well,
even
actually,
though we've been doing it.
what they said is it's safe for vaccinated people to be in the same room together without masks.
Without mask.
But-
And we've been doing that the whole time.
For us, that means record a podcast.
But now it's it's safe to do it. But nothing. Well, actually, some of these are safe. These SCPs.
Yeah.
But what are you drinking again?
I'm drinking of the medium sweet honey wine from Meadery of the Rockies. I'm not drinking some beer today. I'm drinking mead. Not beer like one of you commoners. I'm drinking mead like a
No,
Viking jarl.
And yeah, you'll get a Vikings episode later. Don't worry about it. But yeah, that mead is good. I love mead.
It's a pretty good mead.
Great
yeah.
stuff. I like the raspberry honey one the most.
That's a very good one, yeah.
That's my favorite. I did try a chocolate raspberry one from them.
Oh,
Pretty
really?
damn good, but I want to
Nice.
get it all the time. It's for colder
Yeah.
times.
This is just the classic straight
Honey mead,
mead.
medium sweet.
Nothing. It's not too sweet, not too.
You don't want
not
it to be
dry.
too sweet.
It's pretty good.
But yeah, is that creepy music going? Oh yeah, it is.
It's
I hear
going.
it. Okay,
We got it.
let's talk in our creepy voices.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
This is going well.
this is amazing. Oh yeah.
So let's get right into it.
Who wants to go first?
I think you should go first.
All right, I got a good
Yeah.
one. It's very fitting for the Odd Drunk podcast. We love drinking. We love
Ooh.
breweries. We love beer. So this one. Okay. Item number SCP-2253.
Ooh, you got a good voice going there.
Special Containment Procedures. The building exhibiting SCP-2253 phenomenon has been converted to a Foundation research site. SCP-2253 is legally a brewery, which is also a Foundation front organization, with the brewers being given Level 2 or security clearance. An underground research laboratory has been constructed under SCP-2253, studying samples of alcoholic beverages previously created within SCP-2253. Any anomalous beverages produced by SCP-2253 are to be stored within Site-77. So what do you think it is?
It's a brewery that makes supernatural brews.
Yeah, this one's pretty straightforward.
It sounds pretty awesome.
So, description. SCP-2253 is an anomalous brewery located in Springfield, New Jersey, USA. Whenever alcoholic beverages are brewed on the premises, they have a 5% chance of being mixed with protoplasmic substance. In addition, a spectral
Is
human...
that like ghost shit?
It's ghost, like...
Ghost materials.
Ghost materials, ghost...
Excrement.
excrement...
And That makes it sound gross.
It is gross. It's ghost stuff. It's
stuff.
like Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters. Yeah.
Just think of Ghostbusters. Protoplasm.
Yeah, protoplasm, the ecto-1 and all that.
So in addition, a spectral humanoid entity resides within SCP-2253 with limited ability to manipulate its surroundings. So a ghost.
Yeah.
This free-floating incorporeal entity, SCP-2253-1, identifies itself as Stephen Crane, an American politician, of course, who served as a delegate to the Continental Congress from 1774 to 1776.
Liar.
It is apparently in perpetual state of intoxication. SCP-2253-1 is capable of exerting up to 20 newtons of force and excreting various protoplasmic fluids.
Oh,
These
geez.
excretions usually manifest as SCP-2253-1, simulating bodily functions. So like when he goes to piss in the corner, he's pissing ectoplasm.
Nice. Does he take the form of like a human, or does he take the form of like
He's a human
Slimer from Ghostbusters?
He's an incorporeal human entity.
Okay.
So yeah, he's like a ghost guy
Ghost guy.
that gets drunk all the time at this brewery.
Okay, I think I can hang out with this ghost.
Yeah. The alcoholic beverages containing SCP-2253 protoplasmic fluids are non-anomalous, with chemical analysis revealing that it's identical. Wow,
Identical.
I'm a little too buzzed for this to read all this stuff. It's identical to ethyl hydroxynate. Consumption of beverages have shown enhanced taste and flavor, although testing has shown mild to severe abdominal discomfort when consumed after consuming foodstuffs such as tea, fish and chips, and other British cuisine. So if you consume British cuisine because he's a patriot, it will give you stomach aches.
He gives you stomach ache.
So if you have tea, fish and chips, and just any other British thing with that beer, it's gonna give you bad stomach ache.
I feel like these American patriots during the Revolutionary War liked British food.
No, but the fact that it was British,
but they just were anti-British.
Yeah. Okay.
I bet they still drank tea.
So history. Oh yeah. Also, object class safe. It's safe. It's just a kind of haunted brewery, but you get good beer, but just don't eat British food with it.
Okay. Yeah.
You're good.
What?
In fact, the anomalous ones with ectoplasm are better.
Really? So the beers with ghost shit in them
Yeah.
are like tastier beers?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So what do they do? Like, it was the SCP. What does the Foundation do here? They like wait around and test beers if they have ecto shit in them.
Well, it's just basically
then sell like really expensive 6-packs of ecto beer.
Oh, the Foundation?
Yeah.
You think they sell this?
Yeah, they just that's why they monitor it, so they can get the that 5%. So every beer that comes out with the ecto stuff in it, they just like pull that beer aside and put it into a 6-pack.
Well, the SCP Foundation doesn't do that, but Marshall, Carter, and Dark.
Oh.
Which basically,
what's
to give
that?
you the quick run through, they purchase and deal anomalous objects for monetary value. They're a business that works with the SCPs. So, due to the name of the brewery, agents of Marshall, Carter, and Dark Ltd. began investigating shortly after the initial opening. Believing it to be a Foundation front, Marshall, Carter, and Dark agents made several offers to purchase SCP-2253, all of which were refused by the owners. The refusal was partially motivated by SCP-2253-1's, the ghost, distaste towards a British corporation, Marshall, Carter, and Dark. In turn, believed their business to be a front for the SCP Foundation to monitor their New England activities.
So the ghost is like giving them a hard time because he thinks they're British.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah. Okay, so here it's safe. So addendum. Investigation SCP-2253-1's relationship with Stephen Crane has been ongoing. Due to the entity making frequent incorrect or impossible statements about Mr. Crane's life, SCP-2253-1 has attributed this to intoxication and age, creating a propensity for exaggeration. But other theories about persons who have died on the property could be considered candidates for other reasons. Samson Crane, resident of Springfield from 1765 to 1781, when his head was stomped on by a mule outside the tavern. Notably, several primary historical sources from the time indicate that he had at least a partial resemblance to Stephen Crane and was possibly a cousin. Samuel Chase, signer of the Declaration of Independence. SCP-2253-1 has claimed to be a judge in the past. Frequently, when owners of SCP-2253 were discussing legal procedures and taxes. SCP-2253-1 has identified itself as Sam and Sammy on multiple occasions. Third, unknown youth. Arbitraries from 1915 indicate that a youth attending college in the area struck his head on concrete and was killed at a costume party taking place in the same area. Notably, the party was apparently put on by a local historical society. Footnotes. Crane died in 1780 after being bayoneted by a British soldier. 2. Which produces an wait. These are footnotes. I forget how footnotes work. But yeah, he died from a British soldier. Stephen Crane's Pub and Brewery. And yeah, he haunts it, but they don't know if it's exactly him. It could be someone else that's haunting it.
Stephen Crane?
Yeah.
Yeah, I imagine he would be upset because when you Google Stephen Crane, a different guy comes up that was not related at all to the American Revolution. He was a poet from, the late 1800s.
I bet he is pissed.
I bet this guy would be pretty annoyed that, he's so ignored by everyone.
So basically, that's a haunted brewery. It's a newer one.
Okay.
It's got 52 ratings, so it's not a super popular one, but I thought it was cool for us to mention. Nice. And I bet your next one's going to be so different from this that everyone's going to be like, whoa!
Yeah, it's pretty different.
But I would go to that brewery. I would drink there.
I would absolutely go to the brewery. I would go to the brewery because it's haunted.
To drink ghost beer?
Yeah, I would totally go there. That sounds awesome. I got a cool,
all right, yeah. What you got going on?
A pretty neat SCP here. It's SCP number 1762.
I think.
This is classified as safe, but now neutralized.
Okay.
All right. So containment procedures.
There's not too many neutralized ones, so that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. SCP-1762-1 is held in a standard containment unit at Site Redacted.
Of course.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. These articles.
Well, remember when we were playing straight to VHS, I gave you all that redacted stuff.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Why is it all redacted?" And I was like, "This is SCP.
It's SCP. Everything's redacted."
Everything is.
During the periods when SCP-1762-1 releases SCP-1762-2, video logs are to be recorded for future research. Although instances of SCP-1762-2 have been deemed harmless, they should not be allowed to exit their containment unit.
Okay. Is that the procedures?
Those are the procedures. Yeah.
So it's an SCP that releases another one.
Yeah.
That does not bad things?
Not bad things.
But the first one does bad things.
No, neither one has been.
Another one does
harmless.
bad things.
Yeah. This is not a harmless, or this is a harmless SCP. All right. Description.
I have no idea.
SCP-1762-1 is a plain cardboard box that is 32 centimeters by 20 centimeters by 26 centimeters. It is spray painted silver on the interior and exterior, and the words "Here be dragons" are handwritten in black permanent marker on the lid of the container.
Oh, I think I've heard of this one, actually.
Opening the lid of SCP-1762-1 when it is not in the process of a release reveals it to be empty. SCP-1762-1 will infrequently open and initiate a release of SCP-1762-2. During this time, the box will briefly emit a large amount of black smoke that quickly dissipates. It takes an average of 20 seconds for SCP-1762-2 to emerge after the smoke clears. SCP-1762-2 is the collective term applied to the beings that emerge from SCP-1762-1. All instances of SCP-1762. Say these numbers all over and over again.
So, okay, this is a box that releases smoke or something?
Well, it releases smoke and then releases something that comes from the smoke.
Okay.
All instances of SCP-1762-2 bear resemblance to various types of dragons, both Eastern and Western depictions, albeit in forms similar to that of origami models.
Oh,
So
this one has a really good story to it.
It releases little origami dragons.
Oh, that's cool.
Analysis of SCP-1762-2 reveals that they are composed of kami paper. After exiting SCP-1762-1, instances of SCP-1762-2, again, saying these numbers over and over again,
It's a lot of numbers.
it's a lot of will fly together in large groups and interact playfully with any nearby personnel and each other. SCP-1762-2.
So it's little origami dragon friends.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, little origami dragon friends. I like this one.
And some of them are Eastern dragons, some of them are Western.
Yeah, just dragons in general.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love dragons in
I
general.
thought this one was kind of cute. SCP.
I love the cute ones.
SCP-1762-2 vary in length from 9 to 30 centimeters. All are capable of a sustained flight once they exit SCP-1762-1 and have been recorded to attain speeds of 15 kilometers an hour.
Oh, that's actually pretty fast.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
The number of SCP-1762-2 varies with each opening of SCP-1762-1, with numbers ranging from 50 to over 400. Damn.
Wait, 50 to 400 can come out at once?
Yeah. 400 little paper dragons.
I would only be worried about the paper cuts.
Yeah, I would be worried just out of the pure number of those little paper dragons flying around. Like something's gonna get knocked over and broken.
Oh yeah.
After approximately 2 to 3 hours of time spent outside of SCP-1762-1, all instances of SCP-1762-2 return and fly back into SCP-1762-1. During this time, SCP-1762-1 will once again begin emitting smoke, and instances of SCP-1762-2 will vanish after passing the rim. SCP-1762-1 closes once all have returned to it. The next date of release is inconsistent.
Okay. So it's a box.
It's a box.
A silver painted box.
Silver painted box.
Interior.
That every once in a while, at an inconsistent rate,
It will release origami dragons.
it starts smoking and releases
From numbers of 50 to 300?
400.
400?
Yeah, and they'll stay around for a couple hours, and then they go back.
And that's it.
And that is it. Yeah.
So far, we haven't gotten to any creepy ones or really scary ones yet. But I promise we'll get there. I hope we'll get there.
I like this one, though.
I'm going to have to take a quick break.
Okay.
So just edit that.
I'll edit that. Hey, we're back.
We are back. I'm doing better now. So it's my turn to get to my next SCP.
Yay. What have you got for us?
All right, the next one I have for you guys, is item number SCP-1048. Object class, safe.
Okay. Nice.
Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1048 is currently free to roam Site-24, as it poses no threat and has been observed to be greatly improved the morale of personnel that interact with it. False. Object class, Keter.
What does that mean?
That's like one of the worst ones.
Okay.
Okay. That's like, this is one of the worst things we've ever had. So it turns out that it's not safe. And I'm going to tell you why. The whereabouts of SCP-1048 are currently unknown, though it is still believed to be somewhere in Site-24. Subject is to be secured for containment but any creation of SCP-1048 should be destroyed on site unless further evidence warrants less extreme actions. What do you think it is so far?
I have no idea. I mean,
no teddy bears are to be allowed in Site-24 to prevent any confusion or mistaken identity.
oh, Jesus.
Any object that resembles a teddy bear is to be reported to the security team immediately.
It's a teddy bear.
It's a teddy bear thing.
Or it's something that looks like a teddy bear.
And it's a Keter class.
Yeah.
This is not a joke. We have no idea what SCP-1048's full capabilities are. Who knows how many of the damn things are out there by now? Dr. Carver. Description. SCP-1048 is a small teddy bear, approximately 33 centimeters in height. Through testing, composition of the subject revealed no unusual qualities that make it discernible from a non-sapient teddy bear. Subject is capable of moving on its own accord and can communicate through a small range of gestures. The subject regularly shows affection to individuals in a way is found endearing by most people. Affection is usually given in the form of a hug to the lower leg, but the subject has also been observed dancing, jumping in place, and in 2 separate events it has been drawn child-like pictures for janitorial staff. All Foundation personnel that have interacted with the subject have responded positively to its affection, even D-Class normally, sociopathic tendencies. D-Class with normally sociopathic tendencies. And D-Class are like prisoners or just like whatever they use to like sacrifice for test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Attempts at direct communication with SCP-1048 have not been considered successful. Though it is capable of simple gestures to indicate a yes or no answer, it will often not react to lines of questioning concerning its nature or where it originated from. It is not known of this because SCP-1048 simply does not know the answers, or because it does not want to answer. Though capable of drawing pictures, it has not used its art as a form of communication beyond showing affection, even when encouraged to do so. The more anomalous behavior SCP-1048 was not observed until approximately 7 months after it was originally secured. It is hypothesized that the subject is able to construct crude replicas of itself using crude replicas of itself using various materials by a process that has yet to be observed directly by the Foundation staff. Dr. Carver has suggested that SCP-1048 uses its endearing qualities to lull those around it to a false sense of security, allowing it to collect materials to produce these creations. Currently, there are 3 known creations of SCP-1048, designated to SCP-1048-A, B, and C. The nature of these creations has been in stark contrast to SCP-1048's general behavior, as all have exhibited extreme violence towards humans. So the original one is just a cute teddy bear that's like walks around, like hugs you, draws pictures. The other ones are not that. So, on redacted. SCP-1048-A was discovered wandering Site-24, accompanied by SCP-1048, the original. Subject resembles a teddy bear, similar in size and shape to SCP-1048, but is made entirely of human ears.
What the fuck?
It's made of ears.
That's insane.
It's a teddy bear made of ears. Witnesses interviewed reported that it appeared SCP-1048 was giving a tour of Site-24, the SCP-20, the ear one. Dr. Carver was called to the scene along with the security team. The security team arrived first and attempted to contain SCP-1048-A. Subject emitted a high-pitched shriek that inflicted intense pain in the eyes and ears of everyone in a 10-meter radius. Ear-like growths immediately began growing on those within 5 meters of the subject, covering their bodies in less than 20 seconds.
What the hell?
Every person afflicted with this symptom died within 3 minutes, resulting in the death of redacted personnel, including the entire ear-like growths manifesting in the mouths and trachea of victims. SCP-1048 and 1048-A fled the scene before Dr. Carver arrived and have not be contained since the incident. Those sightings of both have been reported on multiple occasions. Shortly after this incident occurred, a researcher was discovered with a missing ear.
Oh, Jesus.
According to him, it was removed through unknown means while he was sleeping. No other victims of ear removal were found, so it is unclear whether SCP-1048 obtained more ears from another source, or it is capable of duplicating objects or materials. So the first one, so it's a regular teddy bear that comes around and hugs you, and it's cool. But then it creates an ear teddy bear that kills people and makes them have ear growths grow on them. So you have a bunch of ears growing you until you die from suffocation from ears.
So it's an SCP that is itself relatively friendly, but can create more SCPs that are extremely violent.
Yeah, very violent.
Okay.
But the next one's fun too. SCP-1048-B. Subject was discovered by several Foundation staff members in the cafeteria Site 24 of On Redacted. Subject's appearance was nearly identical to SCP-1048, but it moved in an irregular, jerky manner. Witnesses reported that it appeared as something was moving inside of SCP-1048-B. Subject made no attempt to interact initially until a burst in its seams revealed what appeared to be the hand and arm of a human infant poking out and gasping for air.
Jesus.
At the sight of this, a female researcher named Redacted screamed, and SCP-1048-B reacted by emitting a high-pitched scream similar to that of a human infant. The subject then attempted to data expunge the screaming researcher, causing massive internal damage. So it attempted to do something that they removed from this.
Yeah.
That caused massive internal damage. So I have no idea what that could be. In the ensuing chaos, a security team was forced to redacted both the researcher and SCP-1048-B. Approximately 3 hours after this incident, Dr. Redacted was found unconscious and bleeding in her office. An abortion had been performed on her while she was sleeping, and an 8-month-old fetus was never found. It is hypothesized that SCP-1048 used Dr. Redacted's unborn child to create SCP-1048-B. Information regarding the possible origin of SCP-1048-B is not to be leaked to the survivors of currently undergoing therapy for the incident within SCP-1048-B, as Dr. Carver believes it would be extremely detrimental to their recovery. Next, SCP-1048-C. Subject resembles a teddy bear similar to SCP-1048, but is composed entirely of rusty metal scraps. Subject was first cited on Redacted by Dr. Carver in his office while writing up a report on the SCP-1048-B incident. Subject fled the room when it noticed Dr. Carver observing it. In an attempted pursuit SCP-1048-C, Dr. Carver witnessed the death and maiming of blank Foundation personnel as the subject exhibited extreme violence during its escape. SCP-1048-C has not been encountered since this initial sighting and is unknown whether it still resides somewhere within Site 24. The origins of any materials possibly used to construct SCP-1048-C by 1048 are unknown at this time. Extreme caution is to be taken if SCP-1048-A or C are encountered again. I cannot stress this enough. This damn thing jumped through those poor people. Dr. Carver.
Damn.
So it's a malicious teddy bear that creates other teddy bears that do worse things out of weird things.
Yeah, it takes human ears and a fetus and
Rusty scraps.
yeah.
I'd rather encounter the regular teddy bear, but if I had encountered one of the violent ones, it'd be the rusty scrap one. Because at least it kills you normally.
Yeah, like slits your throat.
Yeah, whatever.
Shit like that.
But I don't want a bunch of ears growing on me.
That would
when
be,
I die.
That would be.
But yeah, it's a
pretty terrible.
weird evil teddy bear that's a Kenner class, and they still haven't recontained. So there you go. And yeah, its nickname is Builder Bear. Because it builds bears.
Fuckers nicknaming shit like that. Well, I've got a cool one here.
Fun.
I've got one. It'll lighten the mood a little bit, like maybe. This is SCP number 3636.
All right.
Is a Euclid class.
Okay, Euclid's like bad, but like they have it contained pretty much.
So SCP 3636 is to be kept in a standard secure cell at Site 17. Access to the room requires level 2 or higher clearance. All staff members involved in testing the testing of SCP-3636 must be provided with an up-to-date song blacklist document. Under no circumstances are songs from the blacklist to be selected.
Oh, I think we talked about this one. Yeah.
Description: SCP-3636 is a 155 centimeter by 85 centimeter jukebox, similar in design to the Wurlitzer 1015, with a decorative rainbow-colored light across the top and a golden plate bearing the inscription "World's Greatest Jukebox." The glass selection screen, where one would typically find booklets detailing the songs available, is instead replaced with a blue touchscreen, displaying a search bar and the text "Search for song title, artist, or album." SCP-3636 has no slot to insert coins and has no apparent power source. Selecting a song through the search function will cause a list to appear consisting of every version of the song known to exist, including unreleased early versions of the song as well as live performances by the original artist.
That's really cool.
That would be pretty awesome, yeah.
Yeah. Look up any version of a song.
So far, it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Analysis of the live events after the Foundation's acquisition of SCP-3636 confirms that the live versions are accurate to the performance listed. SCP-3636 seems to have a wide temporal range, as original performances of operas debuted in the Baroque period have been selected. I mean, how cool would that be?
Did we get any performance from like anything? Any time?
Selecting a song through...
Well, imagine if you had a favorite band and you can hear the performance they did when they were practicing in their basement.
That would be super cool.
Like...
Selecting a song through the search function will cause a list to appear... Wait, I got that. Where was I?
You got that one.
When a song is selected, SCP-3636's screen changes to display a video with the text "Live Music Video" above it. The video is based on the lyrical content of the song, often directly depicting the events mentioned in the song. Other times, the events seen in the video are a result of a play on words. The events in SCP-3636 actually occur at a real road location, visible in SCP-3636's video. The phenomenon, referred to as SCP-3636-1, lasts for the length of the song. Effects of SCP-3636-1 may continue after the fact depending on the conditions of the video. As an instance of SCP-3636-1 is created regardless of whether the song is selected has an official music video. All tests of instrumental songs so far have produced music videos without any perceived anomalous effects. For example, YYZ by Rush shows live footage of the Toronto Pearson International Airport.
Yeah, because that's the Morse code for that airport.
Yeah.
Cool stuff.
SCP-3636 was discovered...
Great song.
It is, yeah. Was discovered by local firefighters during a fire at a bar in Redacted, New York, that killed 21 individuals. The jukebox was found undamaged with the screen showing a video of the fire from the bar's exterior while playing the song "We Didn't Start the Fire" by Billy Joel. Class B...
So it makes the lyrics happen in real life.
It makes the lyrics happen in real life, yeah. Class B anesthetics were administered to all survivors and first responders.
For sure, because you don't want them to know.
So yeah, it's a jukebox that will play whatever song you want, any theoretical, like any version that ever was played in real life. But
so what are the blacklisted songs?
It doesn't say, but it does. So I mean, you were telling me earlier, because we talked about this a little earlier, that it won't play songs like.
Well, I listen on the Exploring series. You should check him out. He's on Spotify and YouTube. He's good.
He's very good.
He does a lot of SCP stuff, and along with like other things. But some of the blacklisted songs I've heard of, basically songs that are like world changing, that are like way big. Yeah. So like one of them, Black Hole Sun, Soundgarden. Can't play that one because a black hole in the sun or a black hole sun is not good.
Yeah.
Another one, Call of Cthulhu, Metallica. You can't summon Cthulhu with that thing. The End of the World as We Know It, REM. You can't do that one. But it would be cool if you could find the right song.
I'm sure the blacklisted songs are songs that would cause obvious harm.
Or like world-changing stuff.
Like Maxwell's Solar Hammer. Probably make a serial killer happen.
I think that one could happen.
Yeah. I think that would.
Because that one's localized. You know?
It's not like a world-ending event. It's just a serial killer.
Yeah. That happens all the time.
Yeah. It does say, so SCP-3636 is not necessarily hostile. It's just dangerous. Because, so, as an amendum here, it says...
Is it sapient?
Yeah, sort of. Just as an amendment on Redacted 2017, SCP-3636 began playing Why Can't We Be Friends by War without any input. No staff were on hand to reserve the video event corresponding to the song. Security forces entered the room after noticing the song and discovered the former Foundation employee, Redacted, handcuffed inside the containment room. Redacted was wanted by the Foundation for the theft of 6 anomalous items. The stolen items were later found to have been returned to their proper locations. A note was found in Redacted's pocket. The note read, "Please keep playing the music. I'd rather be friends than enemies."
Wow.
So it seems like it's not hostile, but it's extremely dangerous.
Because they can just like do things like that with music.
I mean, like stuff like if you were to play, Light My Fire by the Doors,
start a fire.
Like a fire might start somewhere.
Or imagine playing like Atomic Punk.
Yeah.
Or playing like imagine if you played a really bad one. What if you just played a bad song?
Yeah.
But yeah, any song that's about the world ending or like just major events, it probably can't play. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So it does that with every song, like it does a thing.
Yeah, and there's some people here on Reddit are theorizing about potential songs on the blacklist.
All right, what are some of them?
This guy says Pinball Wizard by The Who could bring into existence some sort of anomalous shenanigans if it creates a literal wizard.
A pinball wizard.
Any song from the Linkin Park album A Thousand Suns.
That wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
1,000, yeah, that would not be good for our solar system.
As one person says, any song by Attila.
Dude.
Angel with a Shotgun. So that would be a bad one.
Imagine if you played Police Truck.
Radioactive.
Imagine if you played Police Truck, Dead Kennedys, and then a truck of police show up to your place.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
It could be potentially very fun, but also
or if you played like something like wonder what would happen if you played We Are the Champions.
Yeah, that'd be maybe cool. Or like what's some other good songs that I don't know. I'm blanking right now.
You're blanking.
I'm blanking.
You're always blanking, I hope.
I am blinking, but I'm also blanking.
But I got a fun one.
Okay, what's your fun one?
SCP-3108. Object class, safe. Oops. SCP-3108 is to be contained in Standard Anomalous Object Containment Vault in Site-64. It is not to be removed except for testing purposes. Proposed tests must be approved in advance by both Dr. Johnson and Dr. Dietz. SCP-3108-1 is not to be loaded into SCP-3108 except during testing and is to be stored in a separate containment unit. When conducting tests, SCP-3108 is to be handled by a Site-64 security staff only. One officer is to hold and fire an object, while the second is to observe the proceedings of the minimal risk of accident or foul play. Researchers in D class are forbidden from firing the object due to safety and security concerns, respectively. Due to the accuracy of SCP-3108 being in line with similar products, a maximum 1 meter distance is to be maintained from the intended target to prevent accidents. Under no circumstances is SCP-3108 to be used in cross-testing with other SCP objects. Following Ethics Committee ruling on April 5th, 20 redacted, testing on humanoids has been forbidden. So what do you think it is? It's a thing that needs something to be loaded.
Maybe a gun.
Yeah, it's a gun.
Well, I just want to point out, like, the SCP Foundation is suddenly, like, caring about rules about testing on humans.
Yeah, they do have an ethics committee.
Like, since when?
Right? Description. SCP-3108 is a heavily modified Nerf brand dart gun, which demonstrates anomalous transformative properties when paired with SCP-3108-1, a foam dart discovered loaded within SCP-31-8 at the time of recovery. There it is. And we'll get pictures of these. That's a cool-looking Nerf gun.
Dude, like,
that's sick.
I have, like, a really similar Nerf gun.
I have one that's like that, but, like, with the bronze, like, it's kind of steampunky a little bit.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That's really sick.
Nice.
And it's an SCP, apparently. We'll see why. SCP-3108 does not demonstrate these properties when firing Nerf darts other than SCP-3108-1. Nor does SCP-3108-1 demonstrate these properties when fired from a different Nerf dart gun.
So it's just one Nerf dart that works in this gun, and that one Nerf dart doesn't work in any other Nerf gun.
Nope, and the gun doesn't work with other darts.
Okay.
The phrase, OP, please Nerf, is inscribed on the exterior of SCP-3108-1 in red ink. When SCP-3108 fires -1 into target, said target will instantaneously be altered in such a way that the result is perceived as worse or inferior by an individual wielding the object. This conversion of mass does not affect transformations caused by SCP-3108, and noticeable increases or decreases in mass have occurred often in testing. The resulting objects or organisms do not show any evidence of anomalous traits. Transformations do not represent any objective value scale, but rather stem solely from the opinions of the current holder. So if I were to use it and I shot you with it, it would turn you into like a monkey.
Okay.
If I shot that lamp with it, it would turn it into like a little nightlight.
But, like, also, if I thought bodybuilders were, like, the worst thing in existence, and I shot you with it, you would turn into, like,
it would turn me into a bodybuilder.
like a bodybuilder. So it's completely dependent on.
It's dependent on your perceptions.
Yeah. Okay. So if I was like, bodybuilders are literally the worst thing, like super hot bodybuilders are the worst thing to ever exist, and I shot you with it,
Yeah.
you'd probably be like, oh, sweet, man.
Yeah, but you would think I'm the worst thing.
Yeah, I'd be like, wow, I've never
You're
seen
worse.
something so disgusting.
Okay. So the outer shell of SCP-3108 is composed of steel with bronze inlays. Uses It's a steel Nerf gun.
It's a fancy fucking Nerf gun.
Damn, it's metal. While not impervious to physical damage, disassembly of SCP-3108 is proven impossible due to its anomalous nature. All tools attempting to deconstruct the object will be transformed into broken or fake equivalents, precluding examination of the object's interior. This seeming behavior of self-preservation is the only time SCP-3108 has altered objects beyond those hit by SCP-3108-1. Recovery. SCP-3108's anomalous properties were discovered during a birthday party for 10-year-old Jacob Pierce in Blank, Oregon.
Oh no.
It is presumed SCP-3108 was fired at a concrete wall, resulting in the concrete being replaced by loosely stacked stones. The wall promptly collapsed, causing minor injuries to 3 civilians. Foundation involvement came after the family sued the contractor of their home for the incident. The anomalous effect that caused the transformation was eventually traced to the gun following examination of the incident's location. During post-incident investigation, Jacob's brother, 19-year-old Nathan Pierce, was identified as a member of the GOI, Gamers Against Weed.
What the fuck?
Gamers Against Weed.
Okay.
They're not for that.
Yeah, okay.
Pierce had previously been known to the Foundation under his online alias, Cactagon, and had been designated POI 6897, Person of Interest, due to his creation of SCP Redacted and SCP Redacted. He created 2 other ones.
Oh, wow.
He's 19. Wow. Good for him. A subsequent attempt to detain the target failed as POI 6897 had fled the area 2 days prior to identification as Nathan Pierce. Partial test log. Target: 1 dartboard made of sizzle fibers. Result: dartboard composition was changed to cork. In addition, very small holes and what appears to be a beer stain appeared on the board.
So my old dartboard?
Yeah. Target: an 8x11 sheet of printer paper. Result: paper changed composition to single-ply toilet paper. Target: 1 spare coffee mug from the Site 19 cafeteria. Result: coffee mug was replaced by a teacup composed of ceramic identical to the mugs. So I guess that guy thought tea was worse than coffee.
Yeah.
Target: $1. Result: $1 quarter. Note: subsequent tests on dollar bills resulted in various outcomes, including dimes, nickels, pennies, foreign currencies, and fake bills from the board game Monopoly. There doesn't seem to be an exact formula for these changes. Dr. Diets. Target: 1 can of Coca-Cola. Result: 1 can of Pepsi-Cola.
Burn.
I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
Mike, the security officer observing the test, expressed dismay at seeing this result. We had them fire the dart at the Pepsi can and changed right back to Coke. Target: 1 standard D-class uniform. Result: composition of the uniform was changed entirely to cotton, and tag reading "Made in China" was added to the neck. Here's a good one. Target: 1 VHS tape containing the 1971 film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Result: DVD of the film's 2005 remake Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Oh no. Who fired that? They should be fired.
That is the worst movie, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it's not a good movie, though.
No. Target: 1 male Rattus nigrosus specimen. I don't know how to pronounce it. Okay, it turned a rat into an ant.
Oh.
Basically. Target: 1 female golden retriever. Result: 1 female American short hair with yellow hair. Specimen was unusually large, 15.4 kilograms, and continued to display behavior consistent with a golden retriever rather than a feline. Target: 28-year-old Caucasian male. Result: D-class 4281 transformed into a living specimen of Homo neanderthalis.
Oh, turned into a
Turned into a Neanderthal.
It'd be fascinating for biologists to be able to study that.
Preface: to test the limits of danger to SCP-3108's could pose to a human being, Security Officer Gardner was instructed to reload and fire the gun repeatedly until ordered to cease. Target: D Class 3578, 24-year-old Hispanic male. Result: initially displaying similar results to D Class 4281, D-3578 proceeded to transform into a variety of different species, including to what appeared to be an Australopithecus, an unidentified member of the gibbon family, and a specimen of Bradipus pygmus. On non-occasions, the transformation did not result in changed species, but instead resulted in visible evidence of maiming, disease, or disability. Following 46 successive uses, testing with cease on D-Class 3578 had been reduced to the specimen Lumbricus terrestis, too small to accurately hit by SCP-3108-1. You know what that is?
No, I don't.
Must be something really small.
I have no idea.
Addendum. On July 19th, 20 redacted, Foundation personnel apprehended person of interest 6897 at an internet cafe in Los Angeles, California. He was then escorted to Site 64. Interrogation regarding his creations. Interrogation regarding SCP-3108 can be found below. You wanted me to read interrogation? It's not too long.
Sure. Let's go for it.
6897, Nathan Pierce. Subject displays low-level reality-altering capabilities common among anarchists and gamers against weed members. Interviewer, Dr. Leo Dietz. Begin line. Dietz. Mr. Pierce, today I'm going to ask you some questions about another of your creations. Specifically the gun. POI 6897. Get fucked. This is great. Dr. Dietz. Now, that isn't very helpful. Perhaps I should have Agent Green talk to you again instead. 68, 67, 97. That isn't necessary. I'm sure he's a busy guy. We wouldn't want to bother him, LOL. Dietz. Pierce, did you really just say the letters LOL out loud? 68, 97. I'm used to talking on the internet. Sue me. And it's Kektagon to you. So what do you fascist cucks want to know now? Dietz. I'm not going to call you by your juvenile screen name. More importantly, why did you create the gun? Oh, the nerfing gun. Classic. Yeah, I thought it would be funny. Dietz. That's all? Look, what do you want me to say? It's a symbol of guns making the world worse or something? Not everything has grand purpose, man. It's just something I thought while smoking. Wait, he does smoke. Interesting. I mean, come on, a Nerf gun that makes things shitty, it's hilarious. I didn't even think the obvious pun until later. Eventually, I got bored of it and gave it to my bro as a birthday gift. Probably should have warned him to be more careful, but live and learn, am I right? Dietz. Yep, you honestly expect me to believe that? Despite your group's supposed pacifism, the anomalies you all have produced can be lethal. This little joke of yours has changed steel into balsa wood and people into invertebrates. You clearly intended this as a weapon. You used it on people? Our testing history is not relevant to 6897. It was supposed to be a joke. It was funny. It changed Mass Effect 2 into Mass Effect 3. My neighbor's SUV into a smart car. I didn't use it on people. You bastards, why the hell would you do that? I'm not a murderer, damn it. Why would you turn a joke into a torture device? Just get out of my cell. I'm done talking. That is so good. I like that. Turn Mass Effect 2 into Mass Effect 3. Oh. It'd probably turn Oblivion into Skyrim? No, Arena. Skyrim's better. Arena.
Yeah.
Turn Fallout 3 into turn Fallout 4 into wait, no, that's the bad one.
It would turn Fallout
turn Fallout New Vegas to Fallout 4.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, actually, I'd probably turn Fallout New Vegas into Fallout 3.
But it depends on who's holding it.
And then Fallout 3 into Fallout 4.
What if I thought Oblivion sucked worse than Skyrim? Then it would turn Skyrim into Oblivion.
Yeah, that's true.
You know?
Yeah. I think. I don't know.
Turn the Force Awakens and wait, no. Turn the Empire Strikes Back into the Force Awakens. That's good.
I've got one here. This is a Euclid class.
Okay. This one, by the way, this one wasn't a joke SCP. It's a real one that's in the database.
Yeah. These are all... I have one actual joke SCP that I'll read at the end.
These are all official ones so far.
And this joke one is in the database, but it's marked with -J, which is their code for it's a joke.
Yeah.
This is SCP 5389. So, special containment procedures. It's a Euclid class, and it's risked. It's dangerous. They say
It's really dangerous.
it says risk class danger. Containment class Euclid. Containment procedures SCP 5389-A. Instances are to be housed in enclosures with no more than 4 other SCP 5389-A's from within the instance's family unit. SCP 5389-A enclosures are to be lined with concrete and separated from observation decks by a moat. In the event that an instant does reach an observation desk, research should engage with SCP 5389-A as they normally would. Continually giving the instance minor tasks and rewarding obedience with authorized treats may aid in keeping the instance occupied until
Is
security
this like a
staff
dog or something?
arrives. They kind of describe it as such. No humans or sapient anomalies are allowed within 10 kilometers of SCP 5389-B.
Wow.
The staff are authorized to terminate any that persistently attempt to enter SCP 5389-B. Should Foundation staff members or staff mention a desire to enter the radius around SCP-5389-B or mention an entity residing inside SCP-5389-B, they are to be administered anesthetics and relocated immediately following psychological evaluation. Any news reports or online discussion of tsunamis, earthquakes, or other natural disasters occurring in or near the Korea Bay area are to be suppressed. Staff are to continually monitor ultrasonic communications made by SCP-5389-A or that occur within 50 kilometers of SCP-5389-B. If the 91919 or triple heartbeat pattern is detected, site staff are to enact Protocol IB-E.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you think this is?
So it's a place that you got to stay 10 kilometers from, and it's described as a dog.
Well, no, that's the place.
That's the place.
That's -B.
That's -B. Okay.
-A.
-A is the
are
dog
different
thing.
Yeah. Description. SCP-5389 refers to 2 closely related anomalies designated -A and -B. A are hypercarnivorous quadrupedal vertebrates with a semi-aquatic lifestyle. All SCP-5389-A possess a total of 6 limbs.
Oh, that's usually not possible.
Is it?
And in invertebrates?
I want to know.
Invertebrates, that doesn't happen. That can only happen in invertebrates. Insects. Things of that nature.
It says they have 4 legs with bear-like posture and a pair of emaciated arms attached to the base of the neck.
Emaciated. That's kind of weird. But they have bear-like posture?
Yeah.
So they're like bears?
Kinda. Like bear dogs, sort of.
Bear dog aquatic?
All digits of SCP-5389-A are webbed and tipped with 5 to 10 centimeter claws. They are completely hairless and lack any pigmentation in their skin, though they do excrete a thin layer of mucus. Each instance discovered thus far has a unique pattern of irregular marks across its flanks, akin to a leopard's spots. Dissections found these patterns to be made up of scar tissue.
Interesting. So, the weird, slimy, like naked bear dog aquatic amphibious thing.
Yeah, and they have no pigment, which means they're like white.
They're like, okay.
They're like
clear.
Yeah. SCP-5389-A possesses no eyes, nose, or external near ears, though they do have an elongated nasal cavity similar to that of a dog. Specimens have a series of sensory organs dotted along their snout that are believed to be thermoreceptors and electroreceptors, akin to those possessed by some snakes and sharks, respectively.
Okay.
SCP-5389-B consists of former Secure Foundation Facility Site 109, located in the Korea Bay. The Korean
Bear.
The Korea Bear.
So in the Korean Bay, okay.
Yeah. On April 13th, 2018, Site 109 experienced.
Oh, it tells you the dates?
Yeah.
All mines have been redacted so far.
This one's not redacted for some reason. Site 109 experienced catastrophic structural failure, causing it to sink into the bay.
This was not a good episode for us to get this drunk on.
No, it was not.
But that's what we do.
Following this event, Site 109 was designated as SCP-5389-B. Most anomalies contained within are now classified as decommissioned, although no attempt has been made to retrieve said objects or confirm their destruction. Okay.
So why are they linked to this place again?
I don't know. It doesn't really say. So it says, it does mention that if the triple heartbeat pattern is detected, staff start to enact protocol.
Wait, is it if you show up to this place, the bee, the weird dog, bear, amphibious things will show up?
Something like that.
Like
I don't
rip
know.
you apart.
So protocol IB-E means that all sites containing SCP-5389-A instances are to be evacuated. SCP-5389-A relocation takes priority, and if instances should be transported to a facility no fewer than 10 kilometers from the nearest body of water. Should underwater seismic activity approaching any Foundation site continue, all other anomalies and Foundation personnel are to be evacuated. An MTF team outfitted for deep sea missions will be dispatched to prime the on-site nuclear warhead for detonation.
Wow. So basically they need the nuclear warhead just in case, because there could be so many of these things that spawn.
Yes, I guess they're connected, like somehow, like the destruction of the containment facility is related to these creatures.
Okay, I see.
And if there's any like anomalous activity from the site, that could mean danger, because I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, SCP-5389-A was first discovered, or first recovered on August 14, 2014, when the Foundation sent out a team to investigate reports of multiple mutilated tiger corpses near redacted North Korea. The team had entered heavily armed, supplied with both lethal and non-lethal weaponry, including traps, sedatives, and blindfoldings to aid in containment of the suspected anomaly. The team was led by Agent Orn. They didn't redact the agent's name.
Wow.
Yeah, that's surprising.
So it's these weird creatures that that pose a threat. So why are they related to -A or -B again? The place is that just where they originated?
I think that's kind of maybe where they originated.
Okay.
But it's weird. So like on July 11th, 2015, a small inflatable pool was introduced to SCP-3589-A's containment by Dr. Olmsted. Within a matter of hours, multiple SCP-5389-A instances were witnessed fighting over access to the pool. Whatever one gained control of the pool, it would spend hours on end lying down in it. Within the months following, researchers began introducing various toys to the moat in the SCP-5389-A containment pen without authorization.
Wait, they put toys in the moat?
Yeah. After taking punitive measures for the breach of security protocol, it was ultimately decided that to provide a standard set of enrichment items to SCP-5389-A containment, including large tanks of water and items for which they could play.
Okay,
so they're very playful by themselves, at least.
I see. But they can be very hostile.
Yeah, they mutilated tiger corpses.
Wow.
So they're clearly very dangerous, but yeah.
Well, I got another one for you.
Okay.
And this one's SCP-55.
55.
Object class, Keter. Ketter's like, this is the worst thing ever. It could end the world. Special containment procedures. Object is kept within a 5 by 5 by 2.5 meter square room constructed of cement.
Of semen?
Cement.
Of cement.
Cement, yeah. With a Faraday cage surrounding the cement walls. Access is via a heavy containment door measuring 2 by 2.5 meters constructed on bearings to ensure door closes and locks automatically unless held open deliberately. Security guards are not to be posted outside of SCP-055's room. It is further advised that all personnel maintaining or studying SCP objects in the vicinity try to maintain a distance of at least 50 meters from the geometric center of the room, as long as this is reasonably practical.
So no guards.
Nobody.
At this.
And just keep the shit locked up, basically.
Damn.
Description.
Ah.
There you go.
Whoops. Sorry.
We have a little more Corona before I get to this.
Yeah, I was just pouring some mead.
Yes. Description. SCP-055 is a self-keeping secret or an anti-meme. Information about SCP-055's physical appearance, as well as its nature, behavior, or origins, is self-classifying. To clarify, how Site-19 originally acquired SCP-55 is unknown. When SCP-55 was obtained and by whom is unknown. SCP-55's physical appearance is unknown. It's not discernible or invisible. Individuals are perfectly capable of entering SCP-55's container and observing it, taking mental or written notes, making sketches, taking photographs, or even making audio/video recordings. An extensive log of such observations is on file. However, information about SCP-55's physical appearance leaks out of a human mind soon after such an observation. Individuals tasked with describing SCP-55 afterwards find their minds wandering and lose interest in the task. Individuals tasked with sketching a copy of the photograph of SCP-55 are unable to remember what the photograph looks like, as are a copy of the photograph of SCP-55 is unable to remember what... as are researchers overseeing these tests. Security personnel who observe SCP-55 via closed-circuit television cameras, CCTV, emerge after a full shift exhausted and effectively amnesiac about the events of the previous hours. Who authorized the construction of SCP-55's containment room? Why is it constructed in this way? And what purpose of what described containment procedures may be are all unknown. Despite SCP-55's container being easily accessible, all personnel at Site-19 claim no knowledge of SCP-55's existence when challenged. All of these facts are periodically rediscovered, usually by chance readers of this file, causing a great deal of alarm. This state of concern lasts minutes at most before the matter is simply forgotten about. A great deal of scientific data has been recorded from SCP-55 but cannot be studied. At least one attempt has been made to destroy SCP-55 or possibly move it from containment at Site-19 to another site, meaning failure for reasons unknown. SCP-55 may present a major physical threat and indeed may have killed hundreds of personnel, and we do not know it. We would not know it.
So we forget.
Certainly, it presents a genetic...
It.
Yeah. We don't know that it could be a bad thing because we don't know.
Yeah.
Certainly, it presents a gigantic memetic/mental threat, hence its Keter classification. Document 055-1, Analysis of SCP-055. Author puts forward the hypothesis that SCP-55 is never formally acquired by Redacted and is in fact autonomous or remotely controlled agent, inserted at Site-19 by unidentified third party for one or all the following purposes. To silently observe or interfere with activities of Site-19, to observe or interfere with activities at other SCP locations, to silently observe or interfere with activities of humanity worldwide, to silently observe or interfere with other SCP objects, or to silently observe or interfere with Redacted. No action to counter any of these potential threats is suggested or indeed theoretically possible. Dinamay. Hey, if this thing is really an anti-meme, why doesn't the fact that it's an anti-meme get wiped? Why must be wrong about somehow? Wait a minute. What if we were keeping notes about what it isn't? Would we remember those? Bartholomew Hughes, NSA.
Is the NSA involved?
You know. Why wouldn't that be? Document 055-2, report of Dr. John Markochik. Something like that. Okay. Dr. Hughes. Okay, I'm going to need to ask you some questions about number 55 now. Number what? SCP Object 55, the object you just examined. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't think we have a 55. Dr. Hughes. Okay, then, Redacted. I'd like you to tell me what you've been doing for the past 2 hours. What? I don't know. Dr. Hughes. Okay, then. Do you remember that we all agreed that this wasn't spherical? That what wasn't? Oh, right. It isn't round at all. Object 55 isn't round. So you remember it now? Well, no, I mean, I don't know what it is, but I know there is one. It's something you can't remember, and it's not a sphere. Wait a minute. It's not a sphere? What's not a sphere? Object 55. Object what? Doc, do you remember agreeing that something wasn't shaped like a sphere? All right.
So that's all they know about this object. It's not a sphere.
Yeah. All they know, it's not a sphere. That's all they know. So yeah, this one's really fun because we don't know what it is, and the fact that they don't know what it is and that it just appeared at one of their sites is very alarming. And every time they try to record anything about it, they don't know what it is. This one has 3,000 plus ratings.
Oh, nice.
This one's also in one of the big freaking crazy stories.
Nice.
Basically, in the story, the world's ending, all the SCPs have been released, but this guy keeps SCP-55 with him. And he basically uses it to pass the time. So he looks at it, and then all of a sudden, a few hours later, he's somewhere else, and he's like safe.
Huh.
The fact that you don't remember what it is helps you pass the time. So he actually uses it to help himself in that situation.
Interesting.
But that's just one canon. We don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's not a sphere.
It's not a sphere. Could be anything else, but it's not a sphere. I've got a.
I'm excited to post a picture on that one. Not a sphere.
I've got a fun one here.
Oh, I've got a fun one next.
It's a joke one.
Oh, you got a joke one? All right.
SCP-145-J. Object class safe. And then note, it should be neutralized, but the site director's too goddamn cheap to buy a new one.
That's pretty good.
Special containment procedures. Due to budget cuts, SCP-145-J is housed in Site 16's main staff kitchen and is available for general use. It isn't recommended, though. A pair of oven-safe mitts have been provided to assist SCP-145-J's operation. Injuries sustained during SCP-145-J's should be treated with aloe vera cream or a stern talking to by Site 16 lead RN redacted Clemens for thinking you could handle a hot plate with your bare hands. You brain dead idiots.
Is this the microwave one?
It is a microwave. To date, SCP-145-J has resulted in 141 cases of first-degree burns, including 63 D-class, 56 junior and senior researchers, 21 MTF agents, and 1 O5. I call that one 05 now. I don't quite get that. Description. Here we go. SCP-145-J is a Sharp brand 1000 watt R-21 LC commercial microwave.
Oh, I know Sharp.
Yeah. Who can be used to cause one of several anomalous effects on whatever is placed inside of it. It doesn't heat anything. It burns everything. The edges get roasted, but the center is still frozen. The whole damn thing is ice cold, but the plate is on molten lava. Smoke. Lots of smoke. The tray doesn't spin. At present, all requests to disassemble SCP-145-J in the hopes of finding the source of its anomaly are uniformly denied, because if it doesn't work afterwards, then we don't have anything, and that's worse than trying to work with this crap. Sometimes I want to bring in a hot meal and not go out to eat. Have you seen how expensive the places around town are now? Do we really need to have this facility near a major metropolitan area? Property taxes must be through the roof. That's probably the reasoning behind we can't afford a replacement. Attempts to heat...
So basically... There's nothing anomalous about it.
It's just a
shitty microwave.
It's just a shitty microwave that doesn't work properly.
That many of us have dealt with in our lives.
Attempts to heat food without a plate have been approved, but that's pretty unsanitary and it looks gross in there. During a yearly audit of security procedures at Site 16, including a review of old security footage, it was discovered that Agent Redacted used SCP-145-J to heat up a Hot Pocket without putting any plate under it, and it exploded. He didn't even clean up afterwards. He just left like he thought no one was watching. Grounds for disciplinary action, right? That's what I thought, too. But fuck, he's still here. We've incinerated D-Class for less. Just because he's a Foundation star of brown-nosing or whatever, he gets away with being stupid and lazy. SCP-145-J has a secondary mimetic effect that, at the time of writing, affected all staff in the vicinity.
Oh, it has a mimetic effect.
Mimetic, yeah. Morale among Foundation employees at Site 16 has shown a marked decrease in recent months, and confidence and faith in Foundation management is at all-time low. What a fucking surprise. How the fuck can't we afford a new microwave? Don't we have a skip that makes gold? We shouldn't even have a concept of budget. We're the Foundation, for Christ's sake. We spend billions of dollars on some overly fancy storage locker with a bunch of dumbass redundancies, so no one gets near a box that doesn't even have anything in it, by the way.
Is that 55?
Maybe. Addendum. Really? This article got through the system? Who the fuck makes our database? Lobotomized monkeys? I swear to God, it's like no one else works here. I hate this place. I got a crack out of that one. I really liked it.
That's amazing. This next one I have isn't a joke SCP, but it could be considered one. In fact, a couple of the ones I've done could be. But And also, real quick before we get to our last couple, a lot of the stuff in SCP is really fucking scary and like world ending or whatever. I don't know if you remember in Straight to VHS, we've talked about SCP-173. That's the original. It's the statue. If you look at it, it doesn't move. If you don't look at it, it will break your neck.
Yeah.
There's the one where if you do look at it, it will chase you to the ends of the earth until it kills you. That's SCP-096, the Shy Guy. And there's a whole story with that where one guy looked at it in a picture he took 11 years ago, and then he was like in one frame, one pixel, and he saw his face, and then he causes massive containment breach and killed a lot of people, every single person that looked at it. And like, yeah, there's stuff like that, and we'll get to that crazy stuff. And there's also the old man one where he like ages everything and like goes through stuff, and he's like teleports you to a weird shadow dimension. So yeah, we'll get to those, but
yeah, we
wanted to pick ones that you wouldn't know about.
We're gonna do some more episodes on this.
Oh, for sure, there's plenty.
Talking about some more well-known ones.
But
this episode we are doing more random.
Yeah, and if there's any that you're like, why didn't they mention that? We're gonna be doing more of this
because there's thousands of SCPs.
Yeah, there's thousands of SCPs. We're definitely gonna be doing more episodes of this. It's a fun time. So like.
Oh, yeah.
But the next one I have, SCP-871. Object Class, Keter. I know, right? Special Containment Procedures. Each reoccurrence of SCP-871 is to be maintained within a separate locked concrete cell on a metal platter permanently affixed to the surface of an immovable wooden table. Each cell housing a reoccurrence of SCP-871 is to be monitored on a 24-hour basis via closed-circuit camera, with individual feeds checked every 15 minutes. Upon creation of an existent instance of SCP-871, 3 Class D personnel are to be escorted by armed guards to its cell, where they are to be sealed with an instance and induced to consume it. So it's something you consume.
So this is like a cake, like Portal. The cake is a lie.
You're so No, well, just wait. No more than 1 hour may be spent performing this task. In cases where additional motivation is needed, the termination of one of the Class D personnel assigned to an instance of SCP-871 is authorized. Upon completion of the consumption of the instance, no participants may exit the cell until both they and the room have been thoroughly searched to confirm that no portions were made. The platter, table, and room are then to be cleaned in preparation for the next instance. Class D personnel who prove cooperative in the consumption of the instance of SCP-871 may volunteer to participate in additional consumptions. Personnel exhibiting exceptional usefulness may have their monthly termination postponed. Such personnel are under no circumstances to be allowed to interact with any other SCP object. No desserts of any kind are to be served on site at any facility housing a reoccurrence of SCP-871. Description. SCP-871 is a collection of 237 cakes. Here's one occurrence.
It's a very ordinary looking cake.
A pretty, like, generic chocolate cake.
Yeah.
Instances of SCP-871 vary wildly in appearance and size, covering an entire range of foods described as humans as cake. The smallest observed instance of SCP-871 is a miniature cupcake with a mass of 15 grams. The largest yet observed was a 22-kilogram box Kuchman, measuring 2 meters in length. Giant cake.
Big cake.
When any instance of SCP-871 is consumed by a human or a collection of humans, it is replaced approximately 24 hours afterward with a similar cake. This cake will appear on a flat surface in the vicinity of the location where the previous instance was eaten If any of these cakes is substantially damaged through any means other than being eaten by a human, including being eaten by a non-human animal, it will be replaced instantaneously. Instances recreated in this manner maintain on the schedule of the original instance. The mechanism by which instances of SCP-871 are replaced is currently unknown. Individual reoccurrences of SCP-871 have been observed to mutate over time, varying in minor characteristics between each instance, with larger changes occurring in roughly 5% of replacements. No deleterious effects have been observed to result from the consumption of SCP-871, even in cases where several instances have been consumed, excepting those acceptable from eating large amounts of cake. SCP-871's danger originates in the consequences of an instance not being eaten.
Oh, right.
Any instance of SCP-871 which is not consumed will cause a new cake to be created in its vicinity after 24 hours. While this is similar to the normal replacement behavior, the original instance will continue to exhibit the same properties. Replicating if damaged and continuing to replace itself every 24 hours. This behavior has been observed in all cases where more than 10% of the mass of an instance remained unconsumed. As there is no known mechanism for halting SCP-871's replication, any uncontained instances could replicate exponentially, quickly becoming unmanageable. No maintenance plans for the containment of more than 20,000 instances of SCP-871 have yet been devised.
But they do have plans for up to 20,000 cakes.
Cakes, yeah.
I want to know what those are. Those plans are.
It is estimated that an uncontrolled outbreak originated with a single instance will render the Earth uninhabitable within 80 days.
Jesus Christ.
So if they do not consume each cake for 80 days, the whole Earth will be covered in cake.
Cake.
And eventually, the universe. Yeah, and it's just a cake that keeps replicating. If you don't eat it, it will... Well, it will still replicate if you eat it, but... if you don't eat it, it will replicate faster. And if you eat it, it will only replicate one.
Yeah,
and you just have to eat that
one. If you don't eat it, it'll replicate, and then the original one will still be there to replicate again.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, it's a cake that could end the world.
Fun.
Well, a collection of 237 cakes.
Yeah, well, probably, I think, implies that there was one original cake. And all those 237 cakes are ones that have replicated because they failed.
Wonder who made this.
Yeah.
Probably the Muffin Man, right? But no, he deals with muffins, not cakes.
Yeah. I think I've got time for one more on my side here.
That was my last one, the cake one.
So I think we'll do one more.
All right, hit me.
I'll give you an option because I've got two more. I've actually got... Yeah, I've got two more. One of them is a safe one. And the other one is more well-known, but it is a Keter class.
Let's do the Keter. Let's end on the Keter.
Okay, I know you've heard of this one, Jackson.
No, but I know. But let's do it.
Yeah. SCP-35. Object class Keter. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-35 is to be kept within a hermetically sealed glass case no fewer than 10 centimeters thick. This case is to be contained within a steel, iron, and lead-shielded room at all times. Nice.
Whoops.
Doors are to be triple locked at all times with the exception of allowing personnel in or out. No fewer than 2 armed guards are to be posted at any time. Guards must remain outside at all times and are not allowed within the containment room under any circumstances. A trained psychologist is to remain on site at all times. Research personnel are not to touch SCP-35 at any time.
Oh, it needs a psychologist?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is some kind of sapient thing.
Yeah, it is.
All right.
SCP-35 must be moved to a new sealed case every 2 weeks. The previous case must be disposed of.
35 or 835?
35.
Oh, 35. Okay.
Yeah, 035.
I don't know if I know this one, though.
The previous case must be disposed of via SCP-101, as it shows no adverse reactions to SCP-35's corruption. Anyone who comes into contact with SCP-35 when it is possession of a host.
Oh, I know this one. I know it. I thought you were going to do the hard-to-destroy reptile.
No, that's another...
Okay, I know this one, though.
I do have that tab open, but I wasn't actually going to talk about that one.
Let's do this one, because we've talked about him before. It.
Anyone who comes into contact with SCP-35 when it is in possession of a host is to be given immediate psychological evaluation. Description. SCP-35 appears to be a white porcelain comedy mask, although at times it will change to tragedy. In these events, all existing visual records such as photographs, video images, even illustrations of SCP-35 are automatically changed to affect its new appearance.
Okay, so someone takes a picture of it when it's the comedy mask,
Yeah.
but then at this point in time, it's the tragedy. That picture will change.
The picture will change, yeah. Even if you drew a picture of the mask.
That would change.
It would change, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. A highly corrosive and degenerative viscous liquid constantly seeps from the...
It's viciously viscous.
Viciously viscous. Viciously viscous liquid. Just spit on my computer screen.
Sorry. I didn't think I would hear the words viciously viscous liquid tonight. But thank you.
I need a drink. Mead. Yummy.
Oh, you're good. Mine's worse.
I remember the good old days of us sitting at the old house and just like you, me, and Caleb, three of us just sitting on the couch watching a movie, all with our own bottle of mead, just drinking straight from the bottle.
Yeah.
That was good times.
That was good times.
So, a highly corrosive and degenerative viscous liquid constantly seeps from the eyes and mouth holes of SCP-35. Anything coming in contact with this substance slowly decays over a period of time, depending on the material, until it has decayed completely into a pool of the original contaminant.
So is it like acidic?
Yeah, it's like...
Okay.
Yeah. Living organisms that come into contact with the substance react in much the same way with no chance of recovery. Origin of the liquid is unknown. Liquid is only visible from the front and does not emerge or is even visible from the other side. Subjects within 1.5 to 2 meters of SCP-35 or in visual contact with it experience a strong urge to put it on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it wants you to put it on.
It wants you
It
to
needs
put
a
it on.
host.
Yeah. When SCP-35 is placed on the face of an individual, an alternate brain wave pattern from SCP-35 overlaps with that of the original host, efficiently snuffing it out and causing brain death to the subject. Subject then claims the consciousness to be contained within, or claims to be the consciousness of struggling. The subject then claims to be the consciousness contained within SCP-35. The bodies of possessed subjects decay at a highly accelerated rate, eventually becoming little more than mummified corpses. Nevertheless, SCP-35 has demonstrated the ability to remain in cognitive control of a body experiencing severe structural damage, even if the subject's body literally decays to the point where motion is not mechanically possible. No effect is found to be had when placed on the face of an animal. So it only works on people.
Okay.
Well, actually, later on down here, one of the amendments, it says that it actually can take control of any humanoid shape, including mannequins.
Ew.
I know you hate mannequins.
Yeah.
Conversations with SCP-35 have proven to be informative, Researchers have learned various details about other SCP objects in general, and history in general, as SCP-35 claims to have been at many momentous events. So this SCP has been involved in a lot of events in history. SCP-35 displays a highly intelligent and charismatic personality, being both amiable and flattering to all those who speak to it. SCP-35 has scored in the 99th percentile on all intelligence.
Eloquent and smart.
Yeah, and aptitude tests administered and appears to have a photographic memory. So it's extremely smart.
Wow.
It claims to have been involved in many historical events.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe it's the one that killed Julius Caesar or something like that.
Oh, is that what it says? Maybe?
No, it just says it was involved in history.
But maybe.
Momentous historical events.
Okay.
However, psychological analysis has discovered that SCP-35 to possess highly manipulative nature, capable of forcing sudden and profound changes to interviewers' psychological state.
Okay.
SCP-35 has proven to be highly sadistic, prompting some to commit suicide and transforming others into near-mindless servants with linguistic persuasion alone.
Oh, wow.
SCP-35 has stated that it has intimate knowledge of the workings of the human mind and implied that it could change anyone's views if given enough time.
So it's a mass that can not only control you when it's on you completely, but it can also manipulate and control you when you're in its presence.
Yeah, pretty much.
And it's sapient.
And it's sadistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that implies it's sapient. I mean, but
highlights from some of the amendments here. Like I said, it can possess anything that's humanoid shape, including mannequins, corpses, and statues. And it can motivate those into movement.
oh, wow, okay. So
Yeah.
like you could put it on a dead guy to move him around.
But says still anything it possesses inevitably decays into motionlessness because of the viscous.
Oh, because it's a parasite.
Yeah,
it's like parasite.
Yeah. It has facilitated an escape attempt, convincing several of the research staff to aid in its bid for its freedom, which failed. All staff who have been in contact with SCP-35 have been terminated, and mandatory psychiatric evaluations have been implemented for all personnel coming in contact with the.
I have a solution.
Yeah.
Just put it in a room with SCP-55.
Oh yeah.
And that would kind of just like mind wipe it as long as it's in that room.
Yeah, it's just continuously mind wiping it.
And all it knows, it's not a sphere.
Yeah. SCP-35 has expressed interest in other SCPs.
Of course it has.
Most notably SCP-4715 and SCP-682. I don't know what those are.
682, that's the hard to destroy reptile.
Ah.
I'm very sure that it is.
Let's see what SCP-4715 is. A large hexapodal mammalian carnivore with chemetic morphology standing at a minimum height of 5.2 meters and weighing 2,300 kilograms. Genetic of that.
Wow.
It's a big creature with horns and stuff. It has expressed that Dr. Redacted has expressed worry that SCP-35 bond with either their regenerative qualities would negate its corruption and give it a permanent host.
Oh, I see.
That's why it's interested in it.
Because 682 regenerates almost instantly no matter what. Like, they have to keep it in, like, battery acid and its containment, just to keep it at bay.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if it could figure out those qualities, it could have a host permanently. Yeah, that makes sense.
After more escape attempts, after reviewing SCP-35's incident record, High Command has ordered that it be permanently sealed within the facility and prohibited from being allowed any more hosts. Several personnel have protested against this, with some even erupting into violence, possibly influenced by it.
Oh, wow.
I assume. As a direct result, all personnel that have come in contact with SCP-35 have been terminated, Going forward, all personnel that deal with SCP-35 are to be rotated frequently, and contact is to be limited, even in its dormant state, to as little as possible.
Wonder what would happen if you used the Nerf gun one on this. Would it just turn into a normal mask?
I don't know. Maybe.
Why haven't they tried? They're too scared to cross SCPs like that. I get it.
Yeah, that would be really
sometimes
risky.
when they eliminate SCPs, they use other SCPs to do so, but that's like worst case scenario.
Yeah, that could be risky, though.
Well, yeah, because you don't know what kind of effects that could have.
The walls of SCP-35 containment cell have suddenly begun secreting a black substance. Tests on the substance have revealed it to be human blood, although highly contaminated with several foreign and unknown agent substances. Corrosive, having a pH of 4.5 and prolonged exposure to the walls have proven detrimental to their structural integrity.
Oh, 4.5? That's fairly acidic. Yeah,
It's pretty high, yeah.
Because you want 7, that's the neutral pH, right?
Yeah.
And then anything over 7, you're going to get to basic stuff.
Yeah.
Which is essentially like soap.
Yeah.
That's kind of what soapy stuff.
Yeah.
Anything below 7, you start getting acidic. And,
Yeah, you start getting sulfuric acid.
Sulfuric acid,
More notably, it seems to be forming patterns on the walls. Several segments seem to be paragraphs in various languages, including Italian, Latin, Greek, and Sanskrit. Translation is pending. Other segments appear to be diagrams depicting ritualistic sacrifice and mutilation, often for the arcane benefit of the person committing them. Several staff members have been shocked to note that all the sacrifices bear an uncanny resemblance to various personnel and their loved ones, often in conflicting positions.
Oh, wow.
It's trying to sow conflict.
It's cool.
Yeah. It's a pretty, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
SCP, I think.
that's a cool one to end on. So, yeah, definitely expect more SCP episodes at some point, or at least us to talk about SCPs at some point.
Yeah, this has been a fun episode.
Yeah, and I love weird stuff like this. And eventually, hopefully, we'll get another straight to VHS going.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a lot of fun.
That'd be super fun.
We haven't done that in ages, regardless of the podcast, but we'd be sure to record it. Because, I have good plans to implement these SCPs in my campaign.
Yeah, we have a lot of good episode ideas coming up this summer.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
We're hoping to implement everything from
but also
more SCPs to straight to VHS to game nights to
for sure.
Weird shit.
I recommend to you and the listeners, check out the SCP game.
Yeah,
it's free. They just came out with the Unity version with 3D models.
Oh,
that's a really good one. You should check that out.
What is this on?
And it's got a lot of these SCPs that we mentioned in the game.
Nice.
So, I think it's on Steam right now, but you can find it. Just look up SCP Unity. You'll surely find it. So, but yeah, that's a cool one. That, it's a game featuring these SCPs, and yeah, just check out the SCP Wiki. It's fun stuff. The SCP Foundation. It's cool stuff. And yeah, check out the Exploring series. It does a lot of SCP related episodes. Check out. There's a lot of cool SCP podcasts out there. So yeah, you'll find them. But yeah, that's it for us.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead and check us out on our Instagram. Join our Facebook group if you would like. Leave us a review and rating on Apple Podcasts. And all that stuff will be in our Linktree in the description. So it's easy. And all our platforms too. So check that out, and we will see you next week.
All right, yeah. See you next week.
All right.
This is not a test. I repeat, this is not a test. The Odd Drunk Podcast recommends that you follow their Instagram and join their Facebook group for more fun content. To view all of our current available streaming and social media platforms, visit our Linktree in the description below. If you enjoy the show, it would be appreciated if you leave us a rating or a review on Apple Podcasts. The Odd Drunk Podcast is not responsible for any alcohol-related problems such as domestic disputes, bar fights, gnarly hangovers, driving under the influence, or regurgitation. Okay, Colton, you can roll the outro now.